someone hurting that didn't sign up to be a drug addict. No one signs up to be a drug addict. You guys need to know that that's working in this field. When you see when someone's out there is lost, for the grace of God, they go out. I've been there. I've been that person that everybody kicked off to the curb and said was a loser. Because I didn't stand up to the worldly standards of being, what they wanted me to be, this great baseball player. They don't understand I played baseball because I loved it. The money part just came with it. But I didn't accumulate nothing but a bunch of stuff. See, I found joy and happiness when I became a person that was saved by someone else who my wife, the Lord, used to lead me back, to save me, transform me, to redeem me, to rescue me, redeem me, and restore me to wholeness. See, I always and lost and don't know why, don't know who they are, they didn't sign up to be that person. But recovery is real. And it takes dedication from all of us people. Everybody's got to get on board. Everybody, especially in America today, we cannot turn our back on the crisis that we're having in America today with death. Where we at today, where we sit today. We all have a part to do. We all need to participate, especially if you're in this field and you see someone that has a problem. Try to get them help. Because none of us are God, and we don't know what he's going to do. We don't know the miracle that he's going to do in someone's life. And you could never tell me that God would take me from a baseball player to a drug addict and losing my life in publicly, and pulling me out of a pit and putting me in a pulpit to preach the gospel. Now, you couldn't make that up. I'm not educated to do that, but he is. To help others. That's something one cannot make up. I get the incredible gifts from him, which is him, and it's free. Because he knew I would make a difference to help others. I would lay down my life, deny myself to help others. That's the most amazing thing one can do in this lifetime for himself. That's to help others. When we've been fortunate. We're fortunate that you wake up every day in your right mind. Because everybody's not waking up every day in the right mind. Their situations are not as good as yours are, and they don't have to be great situations. They don't have to be all that. I don't have to make myself out of being all that. No, I make myself out of what I've been created for, and that's to help the next person. Help a dying soul who has lost his way in the midst of addiction. Addiction is the worst place one can ever find himself. It is a torment of life that you can never imagine a person going through. And I know everyone that's struggled with it doesn't want to be there. And if you're not a person with compassion, then you don't need to be here. Because this is about compassion. If you're not a person that don't understand it, then maybe it's not the place for you to be. Because people have worked in facilities and treatment centers, and all they did was complain about people with problems. And I remember when we opened our treatment center, they were the same way. They said, "Well, what's wrong with these people?" I said, "They're freaking addicts." What do you mean, what's wrong with them? They got a problem. but they can be restored. You got to be very patient. You got to learn to love on people, right? Love them right where they're at. That's the key. If you're in this field, if you're learning about what you're doing here, and you're becoming a part of this, and you're dealing with people, and you're seeing people, and you're running into people, and don't look at them as their waste, because they're not. Just remember my story. Some of you come here, you could say, well, I want to hear the story, but I don't know. You could have judged me from what you saw them saying about me, but if you never knew my story, you never know what a person's been through. You never have no idea. You know, people saw me hitting home runs and winning championships and holding up trophies, but I was broken the whole time. Broken. Made plenty of money, but still broken. Money don't make you well. I'm here to tell you, money ain't gonna make you well. You broken on the inside, you broken. It's not until you get healed on the inside to become well. And I enjoy the fact that today that you know that I've been liberated and healed on the inside and been clean on the inside. Not like what I look like on the outside, but what I look like on the inside is clean. That's the key right there. Now I can help somebody else. Now I can help somebody else. Because, you know, I was talking to one of my friends one day, and he's a pastor, and y'all know he played football, Pastor Randall Cunningham. He was the same way. He pastored a big church down big, and he was talking about the fact, I don't want to be a hypocrite no more. I got that. I understand that. I don't want to be a hypocrite no more. You know, I know I've been saved and changed. Now, what is my job? Is to go out and help somebody else. Let me tell you, people, if you can ever get this, it's a great joy to help somebody else. If you could ever get that part of knowing who you are, not what you do, but who you are, and to be able to help somebody else, and help somebody else save their life and direct their life back in the right direction, is a miracle within itself. I get to do it all the time now. And I get to hear the stories of people coming back that went through treatment, that went out and used again, and they OD'd and died. Me and my wife get to hear stories about people that we help and send them to a program, and they done well. They had no more options. But we don't care. We took money out of our own pocket, sent them to a program, and they done well. And some of them came back, and they OD'd and died. Breaks our heart. Because we love people. This game here, this field here, that you're in, dealing with this here, you here, and you're going to be a part of this, you're going to have to learn how to love people. You're going to really have to learn how to love people from a different place than you ever could imagine. Because you're going to be dealing with some of the most difficult people at the time that they are in the midst of their addiction. But if you can help them and get them down the road, and they change and they be transformed, they become some of the best people that you will ever have met in your life. They just have a problem. Their mind has been altered. And where do we go with all this stuff? Where do we come from? In the society that we're living in today, and people standing in, public offices and saying, well, this is not my problem, that's those people. Yes, it is. It's all of our problem. If we call ourselves people who work in the field making a difference, how do we make a difference? We come together. You dedicate yourself at the work that we do to save someone else's life that's addicted. Addiction is cunning, baffling, and powerful. I have never had nothing that had me in the grips like it had me in the grips. I wanted to die. I didn't care. I remember being in the hospital and going, I was in the midst of addiction and being in the hospital and going through surgery again, I had cancer again. And the doctor said, well, you have another tumor. We have to remove your left kidney. I said, no, just leave it there and let me die. Because I was in the midst of addiction. And the doctor convinced me, it's not about you. And that's what we are as people, here to convince someone else that's struggling in the grips, that has lost their way. And if we can walk with them and learn to walk with them and not judge people, then we can help people. It's community, people in the community. I mean, these steps that you're taking here, don't just show up here. You know, don't just show up here because I was coming to speak. Don't just show up. Get into action. It's about action. You know, when we take action, let me tell you something. When you do something for somebody else, God does something for you. When you're not looking for, well, where's mine? No, I'm talking about not looking. I'm talking about having a heart to do something to make a difference, to help somebody else that's struggling. You might have some things that need to be taking place in your life. And God will take care of you.
Amen.
Why you think I'm saying that? Because he's taking care of me and Tracy. Ever since he's called us, I hadn't had a job, and I don't know when. Because I work for him, doing his work, helping others. And you guys all have that same ability to do the same thing, to help somebody else. But education is important. You know, we don't never get back to, that's why I wrote that book. Let me see that, JW, this book here. The reason why I wrote this, Don't Give Up on Me, Shedding Light on Addiction. And it took me a while before I wanted to put it out, because it's not about sales, you know. It's about education. What happens to people, you know? What happens to people like me in the limelight, you know, that has it all, and everybody think they have it all together, you know, and you think, you know, they shouldn't have problems. Well, people like me, they got more problems than you. They all using drugs. It's just a matter of when it's going to catch up with them. Because they live behind community gates and they have every home and they have every car. People think they have it all together. CEOs and president, everybody's all screwed up. And then we look at somebody, you know, that's, you know, don't have that life and they own drugs and we think the worst of them. Well, that's just their problem. You know? And then we look at a celebrity, oh, well, they shouldn't be like that. They should be different because they got money. Let me tell you, brokenness is real. And if you'll never deal with the brokenness of who we are and what we are, we can never get well.
Amen.
Yeah, I'm standing here today, yes, I'm well. Because I've decided to follow principles in my life. When I was doing my own thing, I was lost because there were no principles. But see, I've decided to follow principles. Now, what following principles means that I have come into purpose in life. The big difference is just waking up and living and doing and thinking I haven't had it going on. Because that's what most folks think, you know, when you see somebody, you know, with like a celebrity, they really got it going on. Let me tell you, the devil is a lie. Make you believe you have it going on. But I was truly broken, empty inside. this book, I really looked deep inside of myself and what was really wrong with me. That's why I'm telling you that it here today. Every last one of you, don't you ever give up on somebody because you don't know when the change is going to occur in their life. Just because they're struggling, they have a problem, doesn't mean we give up on them. I think about my wife, Tracy, I'm forever grateful for her. Forever grateful for her. She was the only one there when nobody else was there. Years ago, she was pulling me out of dope houses, banging on doors. She was my girlfriend at the time. She didn't have to pull me out. She could have left me there. Everybody else has left me. Now they look at the miracle of what God has done in my life. Now everybody's going to be like they are. They're going to talk about you. See, they was talking about me when I was a heathen. Now they talk about me because I love God. Just get over, they're going to talk about you anyway. So we might as well just go on and do the work while we got a chance. And the purpose and the reason why we're here. It's not about me. It's not about me, people. It's about Him. And it's about people. Because this is never going to change. This is always going to be the same. Heaven and earth will pass away, but not my word. This is going to always be the same. It's about people coming through here that are able to be used to make a difference in other people's lives. See, I thought it was about my baseball career. He's not concerned with those stats and those trophies and homes. He's concerned, what am I doing to help somebody else? And we all have that opportunity. We all have that gift. We all that have that gift to wake up every morning and get into action and to see people for people and meet people right where they're at. Like this here, my brother, Johnny. Could you imagine, stand up, Johnny. Could you imagine him being my manager? Traveling with me, and I met him. When I met him, he was lost. Alcohol, drug problem, just got sober, was ready to kill himself when I met him. Depressed, just got sober, was ready to kill himself. And God intervened and used me to come into his life, to pour into his life. And then he got saved and he's changed. And now he's trying to be my master. Amen. It's a miracle. It's just a miracle of who we are as people that get changed, through the fact that have been in addiction and get on the other side of that. Because people help people. And when you become that person, you just keep helping people. See, my urgency to get up every day is not about me. My urgency to get up is to help somebody else. I love helping people. Because I should have lost my life. But my life was spared. And so many are losing their life, and they need people like you to help them. Just remember when you're helping them, what Mr. Strawberry said. You don't know their circumstance, you don't know where they come from. We can't assume they're coming from a great situation. Because see, most people assume that I came from a great situation because I played Major League Baseball and they saw me winning championships and hitting home runs. But they didn't really know I was broken on the inside. I was empty on the inside. I used to run around the bases and I hit home runs because my father said I never amounted to nothing because of the beatings. And I used to think I was nothing. I used to think when fans cheered for me, they didn't really know me. Because I was hurting on the inside. And then it all just came unraveled in my life, and there it was. Then when I fell down, then they all talked about me, they criticized me. One minute you love me, the next minute you criticize me. Who are you? What are you? What you gonna be? But I didn't criticize them. You know what I said? Thank you, Father, for your grace and your mercy. Because your grace and mercy has brought me to purpose. And that's all I ever wanted to be in life. I wanted to be able to get to a place in this life here to be in purpose, to do what's important. So just remember, in the community in North Carolina and all you guys here, that it's important that you guys all understand that we all have a role to play in this. We all got a piece. That's all it is, a piece to play in. We all use a small piece of who we are, our gifts, our talents, to make a difference in someone else and loving on someone else. Don't ever look at an addict. If you ever see an addict that's struggling and need a hug, go give them a hug. Will they try to con you and manipulate you? Yes. But they need a hug. Trust me, the best thing you can do is hug one of them. And they'll know you care. Because they're hurting, they're struggling. They're trying to overcome. And addiction is nothing easy to overcome. You know, he talks about where I was and then being on the White House board for substance abuse, mental health, and you know, then we're headed up to D.C. February 22nd. They just invited me and my wife to come out with Kayla. You ever heard of Kayla? Mm-hmm. Kayla was trying to bring the White House, and Kayla was trying to bring faith-based leaders to come together and bring more faith-based programs to help people. Because where we are today in America and in society, it is so broken, so divided. And we never will get nowhere like that. The only way we'll get somewhere is coming together and working together. Because I don't care if you're rich, poor, black, white, or whatever, addiction is addiction. And you might not have it, but I would advise you, if you got young kids, I would advise you to educate your young kids about addiction. Might not be in your household right now, but I would advise you about telling your kids about drinking and drugging. I tell all my kids, tell them all my kids, they've been great. They've been blessed. They've been privileged. They've never been in public school. They've all been in private school their whole life. They live a life, but I've educated them about addiction. I educated them about helping others. I educated my kids about life. Because I knew it would be important because of the life that I lived. No matter how successful I was, I didn't want my kids believing that life is what it's really all about. Real life, real people. That's who we all are. Real life, real people. No matter where you go, no matter who you are, no one's better than the next one. All it is, celebrities have better situations, but celebrities are crazy. You heard it from me because I live it, I'm telling you. They got more issues and more problems in their households than you could ever imagine. But I'm talking about real life. This is real life. This is what we live in. Me, you, all of us. We live in this real life here with real problems. But we're the solution to the problems. When one gets into action, things happen. When communities come together, people move. And that's where you start a movement. When you bring the Attorney General, JW, people together, officers, when you guys come together, communities come together, you can make a movement to make a change. There's no movement to make a change if we don't come together. If we just look at it and say, well, that's just the way life is. I don't believe that. I don't live that. You know, I believe in, I have a lot of faith believing that we're all here to make a difference down here while we have a chance. And I'm excited, you know, the fact I said we're going to K-Love, we're going to the White House, you know.